I am from Ukraine, please subscribe my channel, and help me. It seems to many of us that snakes can only be found somewhere in a remote desert or deep forest, but this is not so. They regularly make their way into houses, overcome obstacles, hunt sleeping people. They can even hide in a Christmas tree or behind a refrigerator. Look around. Maybe the snake is right next to you in this issue. I will show you cases where snakes got into houses. Better not watch this alone. Hammock, woman calmly resting on a hammock with her child. Anara was downloading on a hammock. She did not even suspect that a huge snake was hiding behind. The snake was already frozen. The woman rises from the hammock, turns around, but still does not believe the reptile and therefore continues to rock her child. And then, finally, she notices in monstrous danger, instantly reacts, takes the child and lies as far as possible. Well, the snake didn't seem to be going to attack anyone. She lingered for a long time. Why did the tooth fall out? Snakes make their way not only to residential buildings, but also to various institutions. I propose to take a look at several such cases. So in this video filmed in Thailand, a snake crawled into a local internet cafe, arranging real chaos there. She deftly slipped through the door. And then she attacked the visitor. The snake attacked him and bit him. Trying to escape, the guy ran into another gamer, and both of them fell. The rest, those present at that time, ran around the room and tried to be as far as possible from the dangerous creature. However, it turned out that the snake was not so dangerous, at least the reptile was not poisonous. Porch do not envy. I am for those who live in Australia. Yes, there are plenty of opportunities for development, a good standard of living and all that, but the terrible living creatures spoil everything. Although an Australian from home with her children, I saw a snake right on the porch. The woman panicked, threw away the laundry basket and started trying to drive the reptile away from one of her daughters. The girl came out around the corner and even trampled on the snake, which only angered the reptile more. Fortunately, the snake crawled away and everyone remained alive and safe. Still want to move to Australia? Behind the refrigerator. You have long been sneaking behind your refrigerators. I think many of you don't look there at all. Maybe it's worth doing it today, because behind the refrigerator there may be dangerous guests, maybe even real snakes, like in this video. If anything, call this guy, he knows how to solve such problems. Families, and here there are already two families in the mother's house babysitting their children, watching TV, and what you are talking about. They do not know that just a couple of meters away from them, a rather large snake has sprawled. Surprisingly, the child was the first to react, saying there was a snake in the house, to which mom answered from outside, "They are at home." No matter how adults should check the baby's observation, happiness, water, tragedy did not come. Next in line is an even more dangerous snake, the legendary king cobra. This is the largest poisonous snake in the world, which averages 3 to 4 m in length. You can understand the shock of the members of this family, when such a toxic giant climbed into their house. The father of the family reacted quickly to the elder brother. He immediately grabbed the younger one, and all three locked themselves in another room, where it was safe in just a couple of seconds. After the doors were locked, Cobra was already trying to enter the room, saving 3 innocent lives in a matter of seconds. Christmas. You like to decorate a Christmas tree for the new year. What toys do you usually hang up? Write in the comments. Here in South Africa, for example, in addition to balls and a garland on a Christmas tree, you can find a live snake, but don't think that this is such a strange tradition of the peoples of South Africa. It's just that this reptile has become another one that invaded someone else's house, and everyone was scared. By a family from South Africa was shocked when she discovered a live poisonous snake hiding in the Christmas tree. The reptile was cleverly disguised as a garland. But she did not wait for Christmas. The rescuers who arrived at the scene grabbed the snake with the help of special tongs and put it in a special container. The reptile turned out to be a boomslang, very aggressive and dangerous snake that usually attack without hesitation by a member of your family. Luckily the attack never happened. It must have been their Christmas present. You sleep well, you do not suffer from insomnia and fall asleep quickly. If so, great, but maybe the next video will keep you awake for a few nights. Here we see how the surveillance camera installed in the house filmed the sleeping woman next to her. A dangerous snake lurked, which in the darkness looks at its future victim with eerie burning eyes. When the woman starts to jerk her leg in a dream, the snake strikes. The victims did not immediately understand what's the matter and woke up only after a couple of seconds. And a few seconds later she saw her offender and ran out of the bedroom. Although what was happening looked frightening, everything ended well. The woman called her son together. They found the snake. After that, the rescuers arrived and returned her to the wild. The police station, and again the action takes place in Thailand. Too many cases with snakes happen in Thailand, you don't notice. Maybe the notorious Australia is not as dangerous as in Thailand, but now this is not what we see. The police station in which the snake crawled. She immediately went to this man. Apparently, the snake wanted to finish him off or just harm him, but she clearly did not expect. How hard will the fight back be? The man quickly reacted and calmly neutralized the threat. Next to the night and snakes in a terrible combination, and you have already seen this, but what about something else in these frames? The girl got up early in the morning and went to the kitchen to the refrigerator herself. I don't know. She almost stepped on a snake. Between them were a few centimeters. The girl closes the refrigerator and goes back and again almost steps on the snake. After a few minutes, the girl returns to the kitchen, and only now she sees the unfortunate reptile. Well, that. At least for the third time, she noticed that soon the rescuers arrived at the house and caught the reptile, which did not dare for a fatal blow. Suddenly, a woman was sitting on the porch of her house in Thailand doing her business. In a split second, everything changed suddenly. She was attacked by a snake, which appeared like a reptile from nowhere, made the woman get up and bounce herself. Entered the house, right through the main entrance. It's terrifying to watch how this creature wriggles and crawls somewhere under the furniture is unknown. How this story ended, the multipliers of the house tried not to step on Polo for several more days. The hedge is great, having your own area where you can answer, but it's a hassle. Yes, and all living things. It might start up there, right, like in this video with a woman working on the site. She signed the hedge and did not notice how she almost chopped, and the snake with a saw. The snake, of course, did not like this, and she took revenge by attacking the woman. Although the reptiles bit her, everything ended well. The woman was helped to get rid of the snake. The lattice is no less large snake, and on these shots, taken in one of the houses in Malaysia, we have a cobra that has already entered the residential area. Suddenly she crawled up to the barred door. Such a lattice can protect against robbers or large predatory mammals, but certainly not from a huge or agile cobra, which deftly overcame the protection and entered the house. And here, just a plot, a guy enters the territory of his house. They will make a detour for her. He decides to go to the bucket and pour out the water, not even suspecting that a snake was lurking right next to the bucket. She reacted to the movement. And then she reached out towards the wind to bite the guy, but he quickly reacted and managed to remove his hand. Then he jumped to a safe distance and ran out of the territory. At home, I probably ran to a real estate agency to look for a new home. Toilet. One of the most favorite places of the snake is the toilet. They were repeatedly found in the bathrooms. And it's scary. After all, few who expect a snake. It can pretend there, but how in general, the snakes there, it turns out, as experts say. They penetrate from the saw through the saw. They make their way along horizontal pipes, without sharp bends, which are located on the first floors of buildings, as well as along vertical pipes. Upper floors. It's not that hard. Do you think that even rodents are able to easily make their way through pipes, let alone their dexterous, dodgy snakes? Cat. And again we wherever you think. Of course in Thailand this country never ceases to amaze with the best with snakes, and the next of them occurred with the participation of a cat. A white cat smelled a snake under the car and tried to deal with it, but fortunately his owner was on the spot. He did not risk the cat's life and quickly grabbed the pet. Then he locked himself in the house with him. As you can see, the snake turned out to be huge, even though cats are able to deal with snakes. Better never to risk such a giant could well finish off the white fluffy. In front of this family from South Africa, a similar thing happened. They saw how a large black snake got into their house, so they immediately contacted the rescuers. It turned out to be a large black mamba, one of the most dangerous snakes. African mambo did not attack people, but, on the contrary, hid under the bed only to complicate the situation. But fortunately, the rescuers still managed to catch the poisonous creature and take it out of the house. And finally, let me tell you, if you think that snakes only love to enter houses, and at least in the car you can hide from them, then you are mistaken. Even there no one is safe. But on the other hand, if you measure not inside, but outside, then maybe you will get an unforgettable interesting trip. Subscribe to my friend's channel, like the video and leave a comment.